Well, hello everyone. How y'all doing? I'm so sorry. My computer was on the charger, but apparently the charger is not plugged up, which is fine because they're letting y'all know that I'm going live. So y'all need a few minutes anyway. There we go. So now I'm plugged in. I apologize for that. See, I was trying to get ready and all of that, trying to be all professional and things, but just bees like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Um, so hi. It's been a while since I did a live stream here on Facebook or on YouTube. So first of all, let me say welcome. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I am a mental and emotional wellness creative, a licensed professional counselor, and a certified life enhancement coach. I'm also a podcaster and a podcast producer. And I'm super excited to be here with y'all tonight. It's raining outside, but it's a nice little calming kind of rain, little light, gentle, but you can still hear it kind of thing. So that's pretty good. It's been a very, very interesting couple of months here. I've been definitely in a transition phase in my own life. And I made the schedule for a whole year. I scheduled out all of my talks and what the topics were going to be and everything like that. And tonight's topic is the art of code switching. And I was thinking about this earlier when I was like, okay, I have a live stream tonight. And I was thinking about it and I said, wow, when I created the schedule, I didn't realize that we would be where we are and that I would be where I am at this point in my life when this topic would come around. But it's a very, very fitting topic for right now. It's very, very relevant in my life and I think in the world. And so we're talking about the art of code switching. And for Black people, all around the world. Uh, Code switching is something that we just do. It's something that we have had to learn how to do from a very early age. And there's some of us who have decided that they're not going to participate in it no more. Some people have just decided for themselves that they don't want to code switch. They don't want to have to, you know, try to assimilate or adapt to dominant white supremacy culture. Hey, Lakonda. But for the vast majority of us, we sometimes maybe don't feel like that is an option for us, or, uh, you know, this is just the life that we live. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to talk about code switching because I think that while the concept itself was absolutely born out of racism and white supremacy culture, and all of that, it does have some practical implications for us. And I think that if we are able to kind of take ownership of it and make it our own, it doesn't erase what the original purpose of it was, but it does give it a new purpose as well, because there's a lot of areas in our lives where we have to figure out how to code switch. Because at the end of the day, code switching in and of itself, outside of the concept, the action of code switching or the skill set of code switching, because it is a skill, it's a skill set. The skill set of code switching is really just adapting to your surroundings, right? It's adapting to your surroundings in an attempt to minimize negative experiences. That's what code switching is. It's figuring out how to exist in a space. And that is very, very practical, right? We talk a lot about it in the singular context of, going into white spaces or trying to find, trying not to stand out, or you don't want to call too much attention to yourself and stuff like that. But there are other applications for that particular skill set. And I think that we have to give ourselves an opportunity to utilize that skill set because it can be very helpful. When we're going through life and we're going on this journey, we hopefully, right, for many of us, most of us, we are trying to see ourselves in a different type of life. We're trying to change our environment, we're trying to change our relationships, we're trying to change the way that we experience the world to the extent that we can, right? So to the extent that we have control over whatever it is. There's some situations and places and experiences that you're going to have in life that unfortunately you don't have a whole lot of control about, or around, um, what that experience is going to be. But there's more control than what we realize. I think that there are times in our lives where we are afraid to put ourselves in an unfamiliar or unknown situation or place or experience because we don't know if we can make it. We don't know if we can handle it. We don't know if we're smart enough. We don't know if we're strong enough. We don't know if we are whatever enough, right, to be able to exist in that space. But the reality is that if you Black and you live in America, you can figure that shit out because we've been figuring it out our whole lives. We've been figuring out how to survive in spaces that don't look like us. We've been figuring out how to survive in a world that is not, really supportive of growth and healing. We've been figuring out how to code switch in to ward off negativity. But we can also use the skill of code switching to learn more positive ways of being and more positive ways of existing. We can adjust to positive experiences. We can adjust and assimilate into positive environments. We can figure out how to exist in those spaces and allow ourselves to experience joy and allow ourselves to experience peace. It's the same set of skills. It's just a different application. And it's an application that's going to enrich you versus cause you frustration. Now, it doesn't negate the fact that, the other side of the code switch is still going to exist. Which, to be honest, if we're going to be all the way real, I show up in whatever space I'm in, I show up as me. I I don't care if I'm in the only Black person in a room full of non-Black people. I don't care if I'm the only woman in a room full of men. I don't care what space I walk into. I always enter the space as me. And anybody who's in that space that's not comfortable with me, they could kick rocks. Like, that's really none of my business. That's really none of my business. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Right? But I recognize that, everybody doesn't feel that way. Everybody doesn't have that level of confidence and self-awareness, and that's fine. Right? But that doesn't mean that you cannot grow into that. That doesn't mean that you cannot, really learn how to be all right with who you are when you walk into a space and allow yourself to exist as is. And that comes through healing. That comes through acknowledging, learning who you are. That comes through honoring who you are. That comes through the journey and the process of healing, right? And you learn how to be in a different kind of way. Not be different, but how to be you. Because you is different, you know? Does that make sense? I mean, it makes sense to me in my head, but it's in my head. So do it make sense to you in your head is the question. I've been, it's so interesting to me, just how life happens, because um it's one of those kind of things where you can experience life in a lot of different ways. You can experience life with your head down, just trying to get through it. You can experience life constantly questioning and looking around and, wondering, just questioning uh, what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Or you can experience life in its fullness and in its richness. And that's a whole different kind of experience. And having the awareness that life is an experience, I think that's where that comes from. So as you continue to go on your journey, as you continue to, figure this shit out, call upon your skill sets that you have in other areas of your life that you might be looking at as negative skill sets or that you might not be looking at all, like code switching, and figure out how you can utilize those skill sets to better yourself. What's the positive side of that? There's a yin and a yang. What's the yang looking like? What's the yang looking like? Give yourself an opportunity, give yourself a chance. Chris says, interestingly enough, one of my coworkers and I bonded over this. Okay, he's Indian, and I didn't know that he has an accent. When he moved to the States as a kid in New York, he watched TV to learn how to talk without his accent so he wouldn't be made fun of in school. Whenever we hang out, he felt he felt comfortable to speak in his vernacular. That's a powerful thing, Chris. It is. That's a powerful thing. First of all, that you all were able to connect at all, because unfortunately, a lot of times, especially in Black culture, but also in Indian culture, it's a very isolating kind of culture. And we unfortunately are not always as open to, crossing cultures. So I think it's a beautiful thing that both of you all were able to like gravitate toward each other and just see each other as people, but then also that, you were able to create a space that felt safe for him to not feel like he had to pretend to be something that he wasn't, for you to be able to, make it clear to him and communicate to him in whatever way you did, whether that's verbally or non-verbally, that, I'm going to take you as is, like this is a safe space for you and you can be who you are. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's powerful. It's powerful. I remember when I was in grad school, I worked at this halfway house. It was like a federal halfway house. And I was the only Black person in the office. It was only 3 of us in the office, and I was the only Black person. And I remember the guy that I was dating at the time, he was from New Orleans also, and we was living together. And when I was at work or whatever, they would hear my at work voice. Y'all know the at work voice, okay? And when I would talk to him on the phone, they would get full out New Orleans. It would get full out New Orleans, you know? Because if you from New Orleans and you go anywhere outside of New Orleans, you know that you have to slow down when you're talking to people that's not from New Orleans because they're going to miss shit, you know? And so they would hear the full on New Orleans, and I never even noticed it. And one day they said something about it, and I was like, wow. And that was really my first time, I think, even having an awareness that I was code switching. You know, like it wasn't even like I knew. I don't know. I can't even say that I had never heard the word code switching before. Like I had heard it before, but I had never really like conceptualized it before and like really paid attention to what code switching is. And I think that's a lot of our experience, is that we just assimilate. We don't even realize that that's the thing that we're doing, because it's really just a matter of survival. It's about trying to make it. It's about, trying to exist in a world that is not accepting of differences, But again, there's the other side of that, because the skill set itself is about adjusting to new and novel situations. It's about calling an audible when you need to call an audible. It's about, you know, figuring out how to maneuver a space that might be uncomfortable. But whereas one is dealing with a negative discomfort, a discomfort that's not really going to help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The other is about a discomfort that is healing, right? It's a discomfort that will lead to your healing. Sometimes healing is uncomfortable. Sometimes the journey is not fun. It's not always going to be strawberries and cream. It's not always going to feel good. You're going to have to let go of some shit. You're going to have to rethink some shit. You're going to have to let go of some people, some things, some situations, some concepts, ideas, thoughts, feelings. You're going to have to let go of some things, and that might be difficult from time to time. But we have to learn to adjust. And that's what code switching is. That is what the skill set of code switching is. And in this particular case, it's healing. It helps us to get to being the truest version of ourselves, which ain't that the goal? I'm just saying, it's my goal. Y'all know I got my wine. That's my goal. My goal is to exist with joy and peace, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be happy. And I almost didn't want to say that, because I feel like our idea of what it means to be happy is so like skewed and fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like our thought process around what leads to happiness and what will make us happy has been so commercialized. We think that our happiness lies in things. And so I almost cringe at even saying like I want to be happy, because I don't want anybody to think that what I'm after is the commercial version of happiness, because that's just not the case. Like for me, happiness is peace. Happiness is joy. Happiness is, having love, to love and to be loved, to feel loved. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what happiness is for me. Happiness is connecting to people and helping people to, make significant changes in their lives. That's what happiness is to me. You have to figure out what happiness is for you. So, Dennis, it helps us to get to being the truest version of ourselves. Life goals. That is life goals. Hey, Din Din. That is life goals. Like that's what it is. That's what it is. Chris says, I've been in Orlando for 4 years. I told one of our office managers that I was going for the holidays, going home for the holidays. When she asked where I was from and I said New Orleans, she said, "You don't sound like you from New Orleans." And that's when I was aware that I was code switching. Yes. And it was weird because I felt a disconnect from my home. I already missed Mardi Gras and King Cake. Now I lost my accent, but I get it too. And listen, it's one of those things, Chris, where it's like what I had to realize is I am New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? New Orleans is in me wherever I go. Home is always there. Home is always going to be home. That's where I'm from. New Orleans made me, you know? And so it's never even a thing to me. Ouch. A charger. I'm sorry, y'all. That thing was digging into my leg just now, Lord. That was serious. It's never going to be a a a thing or an issue about not being authentic or whatever it is. Um, and I think even being here in South Florida, has been very helpful for me because it's all kind of accents in South Florida. You know what I'm saying? They got Jamaican accents, they got Haitian accents, they have Trinidadian accents, there's Cuban accents, Honduran accents, like Puerto Rican accents. It's like y'all think New Orleans is a melting pot? Listen, it's a whole lot of gumbo going on out here. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I really do. I love it. I love that there's this mix of culture because you know New Orleans is full of culture. But I also love it because I have the freedom to be from New Orleans. I don't have to change the way that I talk out here because they talk faster than me. So they can understand everything I'm saying, so I have the freedom to just make my culture, put my culture in with these cultures as well. But it can be difficult, but New Orleans is always in you. New Orleans ain't going nowhere. And if you like me, every now and then I hit them with a little straight New Orleans. That's how they know when I'm mad. Because when I'm mad, I be like, what you're not gonna do is keep playing with me out here. Stop playing with me. It goes down. It goes down. Hey, Malicia. So maybe you gotta take charge of your code switch, this is what I'm saying, because even in those contexts, you don't have to, your code switching is your thing, and they need to know that it is a switch. They need to know that it could go either fucking way. You know what I'm saying? They need to know that it could go either way. Now, what way it go today is dependent on what you give me. You know what I'm saying? What you give me. You let me know how it's gonna go today. Because I got whatever it is you need, I got it for you. I got it for you. Dennis said, I refuse to switch. I open meetings with, hey, y'all, let's get started. I sure do. And I do my best to bring in resources from Louisiana to my Midwestern company. Yes, I know. I recognize my privilege in that choice, but it's me taking that step to be authentic Louisiana. Yes. And it's not even just about being like authentic Louisiana. Like it's about being authentic Dennis. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about being true to who Dennis is. Dennis says, hey, y'all. That's because that's who Dennis is. That's how Dennis was raised. And so Dennis is bringing himself into the space in his fullness. Deal with it. Deal with it. You know, that's what it is. Yes. Uptown Nick and professional Nick always on deck. Yes. First of all, hey Ranika. Second of all, congratulations on the promotion, sis. I didn't get a chance to text you yet, girl, but I saw the post, girl. Congratulations. It is very well deserved. Third of all, listen, you could get got at any moment. I be trying to tell the people, don't let the cute face fool you. Okay? I will slap the shit out of you if I feel like that's what needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? The girl is never too far. Okay? She ain't never too far away. She could always come back. Whenever you, that's what I'm saying. You tell me what's gonna happen today. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's, that's what it is. And I show up in every space as myself. This is who I am. Can I say that there's no code switching at all? No, I can't say that, because that's just, unfortunately, it's not realistic for me in the world that I live in. But I think what I have really been able to do is to find a way to be true to myself even in those moments. So I I recognize that this particular situation requires, I'm sorry y'all, I need to get this together. I recognize that this particular situation, there we go, stabilized. That this particular situation requires a different type of response, but it's still going to be a response that's authentic to me. It's still going to get the point across. I'm not going to turn into a completely different person just to make you feel comfortable or appease you. I'm not going to do that. It's still coming from me. It's still going to be authentic to me, but it's more so about me choosing to take, pick my battles. That's my husband, y'all. Hello. Hey, baby, I'm doing a live stream. I love you too. Bye. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I don't play behind my husband now. I answers the phone for my husband. But yeah, like it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me at all times. And I have found a way to take take ownership of my choices, and even my code switching is intentional. You know what I'm saying? It's intentional and it's authentic to me. To me. Yeah. Oh, Dennis, thanks. I always answers the phone for my husband now. I don't play this behind my husband. So yeah, I mean, that was, pretty much all that I had for tonight. I have some really exciting projects coming up. I can't really share about everything just yet. We have to get, finalize a lot of things. So I can't really share things just yet. But just know, you already know, y'all know that as soon as I am able to share with you all, I absolutely will. I'm very, very pleased with the opportunities that have started to come my way as a result of the work that I have done. And I'm really excited and looking forward to, continuing to grow and pursue my goals and impact lives in a really positive and healthy way along the way. So, cheers to that. That's some good wine, y'all. All right, y'all. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.